Nigerians in Dubai is a community blog and podcast that captures the stories, impact, and lifestyles of Nigerians living, working, and visiting Dubai. People, impact, and lifestyle. Follow us on all social media platforms at Nigerians in DXD.
Hi guys, so welcome to this week's episode of the Nigerians in Dubai Podcast. Today we're talking about a very interesting topic. So we did the part one of the topic, so it's dating in Dubai as a young black woman. So we spoke to a young Nigerian, she's 21, Demi A, for the first episode of this topic. So now we're talking to older Africans, older black women, to share a bit on this topic. So before we introduce our guest, I want to say a couple of things. So one, Malcolm X said that the most disrespected person in America is a black woman. A few people believe that this trend has gone beyond America to a lot of countries in Africa and in other parts of the world. So OkCupid's founder, Christian Rudder, he wrote a book called Dataclysm, Who We Are When We Think No One's Looking. And some of the things he talked about were with regards to love, sex, race, and identity. And from the data that he gleaned this data off his platform, which has millions of users. He said a woman's taste in a man or in men typically evolves as she ages. So while a man's taste in women stays the same no matter how old he is. Now, on his platform on OkCupid and also on Tinder, one thing they found out from crunching the data is that there's a general bias against black people. So in how people rate black people, how people respond to black people. Among the statistics, where men are concerned, Asian men are the least most sought after people on these dating apps, while black women are the least most sought after women on these dating apps. Age is also a huge variable in online dating, according to the data. So that's an interesting thing. The TV series Grownish did an episode highlighting the plight of black women when it comes to online dating, and the experience was very interesting. So on today's podcast, we're going to be talking to two black women. The first person is Lizzie. Lizzie is a Ugandan or British Ugandan. She's been in Dubai for a while. I'm going to introduce her shortly. And then we're also going to be talking to Vivian. Vivian is a Nigerian. She's been in Dubai for 2 years. And they're going to be sharing their experience with dating. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hi, so that's Lizzie. And hi, Vivian.
Hi.
Hi. Thanks for joining us, ladies. So, real quick, I'm just going to... So we're going to be having the conversation simultaneously. So for every question I ask, you both get a chance to answer immediately. So the first thing I'm going to say is, so who's Lizzie? Who is Vivian? So Lizzie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm 28. I was born in Uganda but raised in London. And I've been in Dubai for 3.5 years now. And yes.
Okay, Vivian.
Okay, I'm a Nigerian.
Yeah.
I'm 31. I was raised in Nigeria and been here for 2 years.
Awesome.
Actually a tourist, so I'm everywhere actually.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. So tell us a little bit about what you do, Lizzie.
Okay, so I am a business support manager. So in my company, I look after the CEO, I do HR, just various different roles within a corporate environment.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. So, Vivian, can you tell us a little bit about what you do as well?
Okay, I'm a combination of real estate and tourism.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a broker.
Okay.
And I also do destination packages.
Experiences,
yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. Okay, thank you, ladies. So we're going to share pictures of the ladies, obviously, in the blog post. but first, I want to give the ladies a chance. Let's imagine you are describing yourself visually for the users. So give us like a visual description of yourself. So how tall are you? Then also tell us like some of your hobbies and So who wants to go first? Okay, okay, so Vivian's gonna go first. Okay, yeah.
Okay, okay. I would just say I'm awesome. I'm unique.
Okay,
I'm a black woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, I'm tall. I'm average, and I have the body. That's all I'll say.
Oh, she has the body, the African. I like. Yeah. Okay, so Lizzie, give us.
I'm like 5'6". I'm unique too.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say.
Okay. So what are some of your hobbies?
So me, just anything social. Social.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about dating. Let's dive into the topic. So, what's your first impression of dating in Dubai?
So, I came here full of hopes and dreams, and I was crushed. But I've been here 3.5 years. You've been here for 2 years, so maybe you're a little less crushed than me. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
No. So I just think it just is so hard being a black woman here, and it's really, really difficult for me because I've got friends of all different nationalities. Like, I actually prefer it that way. I think in general you lead a much more balanced life if you have different nationalities around you. But I can't help but notice how much easier it is for some of my other friends in and out of relationships, like always got something going on, versus like the 3.5 years I've been here, the majority of my black female friends, without sounding too big-headed, I've got friends who have gone from Ivy League schools, Harvard, really, really successful women that are killing their careers, and are looking for guys. I've seen them looking for guys for 3.5 years and they're still single. Me, myself, I'm still single. So I just think it's so much harder for a black woman. It's the market here is so small, I think.
Okay. The market for what exactly? Before Vivian, so I think that's the question really. The market for what exactly?
So my version of a good guy. A good black guy.
Interesting. Okay, so we're going to come back to that actually. So Vivian, tell us a little bit about your impression of dating in Dubai.
Okay, I will leave that question. I'm sorry. I'll probably continue from where she stopped.
Okay.
Okay, she said something like the market of a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like there are good guys here, but they had their intentions when they were coming.
Okay.
They had their dreams. So, of course, they wouldn't throw it away because of a woman.
Yeah. Okay.
So, how I come into this, how my relationship, and I'm still dating the person. Yeah, October will be 3 years. So
you met the person in Dubai?
Yeah, I met him here. I met him in church.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so apparently we were chasing the same thing. It's goal inclined. I am too.
Okay.
So that was the attraction.
Okay.
So we're friends and we crushed ourselves.
Okay.
So it wasn't about dating. It was about, I'll help you achieve your goal. Okay. And you help me achieve mine. Okay. So we're in the same table and we had a lot of things to offer. Okay. So that's why it worked. So I'm trying to key into what she just said because it's true. If he didn't see what he wanted in me, he wouldn't have come after me. Okay. And if he didn't have a big head, like what I mean by big head, he has a lot of vision.
Goals, visions. Okay.
He inspires me a lot. So, really, she's not lying because I have friends that have been here for 6 years, no relationship, because of course they've not seen what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So if he wasn't vision inclined, it's a no for me. Okay. I'd rather do what I want to do and go back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this idea of vision inclined, it's very interesting. Okay. Because it brings me to my question about dating goals. So, what are your dating goals? So, typically, most people set certain goals when they are dating. So, I don't know if you guys want to share what are some of your dating goals. For example, on the first podcast, Demi said some of her dating goals were friendship. Friendship was her very first dating goal. She was looking for companionship.
I have enough friends. No, thank you.
You have enough friends?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are your dating goals, Lizzie?
For me, it's very, very black and white. Like, I'm past an age where I'm dating for fun. Admittedly, I'll be honest, when I first got to Dubai, I was loving, the whole idea of being taken out and, treated like, quote, princess, to all these nice places. But now I've got to a stage of my life where if I'm like speaking to you, or if I'm sat in front of you and I can tell there's not a future that could potentially lead to me wanting to actually date you seriously, then potentially lead into marriage, I'm not wasting my time.
Okay.
My time is so valuable that if I can already see that this isn't going to be something serious, I'd rather just be single and spend my time on my friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Did you have any particular when you met the guy you're dating right now,
Yeah.
Vivian? Were you clearly out to meet someone? Did you have any particular goals at that time?
No.
Okay.
I never, because I'm enough for myself. I'm sorry, I'm not selfish, but I'm enough for myself. Because I could take myself anywhere. I could travel anywhere.
Yeah.
My hobbies is myself. I could do them myself.
Yeah.
So a man can't even impress me. So what we were actually job hunting. So we were actually in the same platform.
Okay.
Like we wanted same thing.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, it was as if it was more like we weren't even. We were actually going for nothing. We had something. So we discovered. So I think my answer to your question is discovery.
Okay.
When I discover you have something positive, that's the attraction for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were not searching for anything.
Nothing.
But you discovered each other based on your mutual likes, the things you liked mutually.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting. Okay. My next question is a bit more about dating so online or offline dating, experience with online or offline dating. So I'm still going to start with you, Vivian. So what's your experience with online or offline dating? Are there some platforms that you've used to date online and what has been your experience with those platforms?
For me, online I do more business online.
Okay.
So I find it very irritating when you're trying to chat me up, your baby and all that.
Okay.
I don't find it interesting, but there's some smart guys there.
Okay.
They try to tell me, in fact, they give me businesses like, okay, Vivian, let's do business. And in the middle of business, they'll be like, I like you and all that.
Yeah.
So what I do then, I try not to push them away because I need the business. So I try to be in between. Okay, I know you like me. Can we just finish the contract?
Okay.
Then we forge ahead.
Okay.
So in between that, I bring my relationship in. I'm in a relationship and all that. But then you're into me then. So it's something you have to maneuver.
Yeah.
But it happens.
Yeah.
If it's not me, I could give you a story of a third party.
Yeah,
I call
that's
it a
fine.
third party story.
Yeah.
My friend is actually married. She met the guy on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, so it works.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was looking for what my boyfriend was looking for.
Okay.
So that was why we clicked. If not, it's not easy to love in Dubai. There's a lot to achieve. And sometimes the love can take those things away. Yeah. Can reduce the ambitious part of you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So my friend is happily married now with a kid from Facebook.
Nice.
They started chatting and the mutual understanding. You mustn't see the person.
Yeah.
The people you are seeing may just be crap, like what she said.
Yeah.
She's not in for. She knows what she wants.
Yeah.
So they were chatting and they knew what they want and the intentions were right.
Okay.
Yeah. The person mustn't be visible.
Okay.
It can happen online.
That's great. Yeah. Okay. So Lizzie, now you're going to tell us what's your experience with dating online and offline.
So I think for me, so when I think of all my dating experience, the majority of it has been online, from Tinder in particular. So saying to you earlier, I literally never, ever, ever get approached by men when I'm out, and I go out a lot. I'd probably say I go out 5-6 times a week. The social is really big to me, but I rarely ever get approached by men. Although funnily enough, I get approached by white and Asian men all the time. But in terms of black men, which is what I'm looking for, I don't really get approached. But then on Tinder, without sounding big-headed, being super like left, right, and centre, you know. And funnily enough, I went on a date a few months ago, and this guy actually said to me that, bearing in mind the whole date, he was complimenting me, you know, really complimenting my looks, like making me feel like, you know, really good. And he said to me halfway through that he would have never have approached me if he had seen me on a night out. So I asked him, how can you say that when you've literally just spent half the evening telling me how you think I'm gorgeous, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, he would just assume that I would have too much attitude to talk to him. So I think that, unfortunately, there is a lot of like stereotypes when it comes.
Yeah. So you talked about stereotypes, yeah. So,
yeah.
Oh, you were still finishing the story from the guy, yeah.
No, so basically I just think that unfortunately there's some people out there that have these stereotypes of black women being unapproachable. In actual fact, if you, obviously you can't see me through the podcast, but known in my social circle as the most smiliest person. Like I literally know, like I'm always smiling, like I'm super, you know, approachable. So to have feedback from somebody somebody saying that I would have, they would assume I'd had an attitude. I have, you know, complete confidence that that's simply because of the fact that I do have black skin. Because like I said, I'm always smiling, I'm always happy chatting to people.
Okay.
So yeah, it's hard here.
Okay, that's very interesting. I guess there was an article I read, and I think it had also come from Tyler Perry movies where he talks about the angry black women, where black women are naturally seen as having mood swings, as being really annoying. So do you think some of that perception from movies or from stories, or do you think this perception comes from like actual experience with black women?
So I don't personally buy that, because I think if I'm specifically thinking about black men, most black men have been raised around black women.
Okay.
And I'm sure you can't say that every black woman you knew growing up is angry. And I've definitely seen it firsthand where certain other cultures have been praised for, you know, being fiery, you know, the fiery Latina, you know, having sass. So I just really almost get upset when I hear this this talk of the angry black women, because in actual fact in all races you find, you know, people are angry, but it doesn't speak for, one person cannot be a representation for all of the whole race, you know?
Okay. I think for this particular question, we're going to talk to you for a little bit, Lizzie, actually.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yes. So I want to tell us about some of your actual Tinder dates, like how they approach you, for example. What are some of the horror and the great stories in terms of approach? Do you have like particular examples you can share? What made you swipe right for a man that you saw on Tinder, for example? What did he say in his opening line that was interesting? Because you will find that there might be black men listening to this podcast as well that need some of these lessons on how to be better.
For me, I think, so the first thing I'm swiping right on is if somebody, I know this sounds stupid, but they actually did a study in US, and they basically asked people what were their biggest fears, and something stupid like 90% of women said that they were scared of meeting a serial killer. Like I genuinely do feel like women worry about, you know, what if he's crazy, what if he tries to kill me? And anyway, they worked out that 70% of men was that she would be fatter than her pictures. So okay. I think that definitely resonates in between, like with me and my friends and my social circle. Like I'm literally thinking, you know, does this guy look like a serial killer? You know, like, you know, does he look safe? And then on top of that, are you attracted to them? Because ultimately an app like Tinder, you're basing it on how they look. You know, do they look like somebody who is approachable, friendly, goes outdoors? So I think those are the things I'm looking at when I'm swiping. And when I start talking to them, I think my advice to guys would just be make it personal. The amount of times I get hi, and never respond. Like, you know, say something. You know, it sounds terrible, but only say it if you mean it, but tell a girl she's beautiful, say, you like this in her profile. Those are things that can really brighten a girl's day. Obviously, you should only say if you genuinely feel that way, but I think just make it personal, because you've got to remember there's so many guys out there who unfortunately, so a lot of messages, I'd say it's like 50-50. You get guys who are really serious and, are genuinely trying to be interested in getting to know you, and then you get the guys that are just looking for like fun for the night, and they tend to be very direct with it.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, how direct? What are some?
Oh, I've had guys just saying, can you come to my house tonight? Like, not even anything other. And then unfortunately you do have people trying to offer you payment. And that's another ball game altogether, of people just seeing you and then assuming that, you're working, even though I think I wrote like a freaking dissertation on my bio, so I've really taken the time to write and, think about myself and describe myself. But still people will message me and say, can you come to my house for this amount? Can you come to my house for that amount? So yeah, definitely when they're on that path, they are very, very direct with it. And that's not to say, just want to highlight that ultimately I do have a British passport. So I'm very, very aware that unfortunately my passport in a place like Dubai allows me certain opportunities that I probably will never have to, do certain things to survive or to eat. But I want to make it very clear, I'm not judging, anyone that has to do whatever they have to do to be in Dubai. Ultimately, we have one life to live. We have one creator. So whatever somebody else is doing is not my business. I'm just saying for me. Okay.
But yes, as much as it's not your business, do you think that affects the general perception of black women in Dubai?
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. So funny enough, when I came here 3.5 years ago, I don't know if Vivian, you would have kind of seen the same thing. Without sounding terrible or racist, so I've always lived in Marina until recently, and you see girls standing by the street corners. But when I got here 3.5 years ago, it was predominantly Filipinas, Russian women. Now, it's like literally 99.99% black ladies. And to be honest, it really, really does break my heart. But I think, unfortunately, that adds to the stereotype of, when people see you thinking that they can come and buy you. Yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting. Vivian, I want to ask a little bit about your relationship. So, when you guys started out, did you guys go on dates? Were there any other things he did beyond having the same interest as you that made it interesting for you?
Okay, he's actually an extrovert. I'm an introvert, so he had to skip some dates. I rather want to have my dates in a house, which is weird sometimes because I don't look like I look very. I'm a social person in business. Like, I rather want to go to a lounge and have a meeting and hear the music and dance and see it and look at my laptop and talk to my clients. So I like to multitask around business and pleasure. Not just going all out. And when I'm out, I'm still thinking about my messages and my email that I have to go check in the house. So it was a problem at a point, but he handled it because he's an outgoing person. He probably wants to live his life. He's 100%, 80% out, then 20 out. So he tried to manage me, and he taught me how to. He started taking me on dates, which I'm not used to. I'm used to going on dates, giving you a place. As a client, I tell you, meet me at crowd market. Let's just talk business and let's have fun. So I know I'm closing a deal. I know I'm going back with the $1 million is there, and the champagne I just bought is not like it's so everything is just so it made me understood that I could still live my life.
There's a lot more to life,
and still get back to work. So I'm too serious for him.
Okay, you were too serious for him.
But I'm a bit losing up. He's not around. He's on a course. So I'm in Dubai and I can still go out with friends. I'm a bit in between intro and extra. So
I guess what you talked about is really interesting because a lot of people that come to Dubai with a goal. The goal is usually to make money and then That's what a lot of, because for example, Dubai is like 90% expats, and a lot of the expats in Dubai are working. Yeah, so that's a very interesting perspective. But sometimes we find that people that eventually settle in Dubai are now looking for like a lot more than money. They want to be deeply in the social scene. They want to find love. They want to find happiness.
Sorry to cut you. Love is necessary.
Yeah.
Because I'll give an example.
Yeah.
When he was working, I was working. We had different shifts. At a point, we moved in together because he didn't want to.
Yeah.
He just didn't want me like out of his sight.
Yeah.
So my shift, I'm sales representative, so I go to work by 12 and I close by 9. So he goes to work by 8 and he closes by 3. So I feel the love when I get a text message. Okay, meet me in this restaurant.
Yeah.
I know you're stressed because some client might be very pushy. They just want to gist, and even after the presentation, they want extra talk, and you find yourself going on by 11.
Wow.
My managers don't care.
Wow.
They are just happy that I just closed a deal.
Yeah.
And in fact, the clients might just go an extra and say, okay, they want to take me on a date. And now I have to, while I'm like, okay, excuse me, because I can't use the phone and the text.
Yeah.
I go and I call them, baby, look at what's happening.
Yeah.
It's okay, where? Okay, maybe Doubletree by Hilton, Business Bay. Okay, you know what? I'm going to take another table. When you're done, tell them good night and join me.
Okay.
So my boyfriend can actually be there watching me while I'm eating.
Supporting.
And he doesn't, how will I put it? He built my confidence, and it just made me feel like, don't worry, dates are not sex. Like it doesn't mean like you're cheating. It just means that you're trying to keep your job, but you're decent about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So it really helped me a lot.
That's very interesting.
It made me social. It made me feel like I can walk and play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Now, did you have any dating experience in Nigeria, for example, that you can contrast with Dubai? For example, what was your experience with like Nigerian men in Nigeria versus? I'm sure have you been in any other relationships before this one? Yes.
Like,
So, what was your experience with those men? How did you meet them? For example, I'd say you're more of an offline meeting person than meeting people online.
It's always with business.
Okay.
Even when I was schooling, I was coming to Dubai to get stuff. But basically, I sell to men because I feel I can relate more with them because I grew up with my dad. So I prefer the matured one. So during my selling, and you probably just like me, and we just talk business. It's always business from business.
Okay.
And so the dating is cool because it'd be like, okay, you know what? Drive down with the stuffs you have. I mean, it's a restaurant. Okay, please, let me just buy you lunch. Okay. So it starts from there, and you're interesting. We talk, and you're not all pushy because I don't like petty guys. So you go with the pace, and I'll be the one to tell you, man, can we just hang out? Like, you always do dates. Like, what about, you get, I like to put it, not you put it first. It scares me when you
That's interesting.
So, we have a lot of decent guys in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And they take their time.
Okay.
Yeah. They do.
Okay. Lizzie, do you have any, like, dating experience outside Dubai that you can, like, contrast with? Okay.
So, dating in London is a completely different ball game. Completely different. So I think, generally speaking, when you come to Dubai, you have to factor in, there's a lot of people that live their life for show.
Okay.
That aren't genuine people in Dubai. So I think that's another added element of struggle when you come here. It's difficult to even find genuine friends. Whereas I find the second you step out of Dubai, because you've got to remember, in Dubai, a lot of stuff is how you look and who you know. You know, in other cities, that whole pressure isn't there. You know, so you find people are more genuine. It's quite easy. It's a lot easier to connect with them. And if I compare Dubai to my dating experience in London, I would definitely say Dubai has spoiled me in terms of the standard here is so much higher.
Okay.
So in London, you know, a guy will tell you, meet me here. You travel for an hour. You go meet him at this spot, and then the bill comes, and you know he'll tell you, okay, you owe X, Y, and Z amount. You know, versus being in Dubai. I'm going to be honest, I've been on a lot of dates in the 3.5 years I've been here. I have never once had to pay. And on top of that, there's always been an element of care, you know. The guy will go out and message you and be like, you know, hey, let's go out on this day. Where exactly do you live? Okay, you tell him you live in Marina. He's looking in spaces around Marina to take you out. You know, he's thinking about your commute. Or if he's taking you somewhere further, he's he's calling an Uber for you. There's an element of care. I actually had a situation where I realized the guy had ruined me when I went on a date with this guy who was Nigerian, actually. Okay. He was Nigerian. But again, I was living in Marina, and he was like, I'm taking you out on Friday. So I was like, okay, my thing is, if you're showing, asertiveness, you're taking the lead, I'm not going to try and stop you. I'm just going to go with the flow. And then he said, we should try this place called Irish Village. I had never been to Irish Village, didn't know what it was, but I just thought, okay, let me go with the flow. The type of person I am, like if you guys know me, you know me. I like nice, places. I like a glass of wine. I always dress up when I go out. Like that's the type of person I am. I didn't know that Irish Village was a pub. So,
oh, wow.
Well, it's basically a series of pubs. So I have spent over an hour doing my hair and makeup. I'm wearing a really nice dress. I'm wearing super high heels. I'm feeling good. I just jump in the taxi and I say to the taxi guy, take me to Irish Village. So we're driving. 15 minutes later, we're still driving. Half an hour later, we're still driving. And I'm trying to argue with the taxi driver saying you've taken the wrong turn because I genuinely thought, Irish Village must be close. Long story short, Irish Village is basically near the airport.
Wow.
So, long story short, it took me like 55 minutes to get there, and I found out later that he lived near Irish Village. So,
wow.
He had just thought about, himself. And then on top of that, again, I'm now in this place, which is like a pub area. People are like obviously dressed for the pub, and I'm here looking strange. And it was not a nice situation. And when I was speaking to my Dubai friends about it, they were like, how dare he just walk out and leave, like don't even go on the date, just take the taxi back around, blah blah blah. But long story short, when I was telling the story to my friends in London, completely different reaction. They were like, if you were in London, would you expect a guy to go to your house and pick you up? Bearing in mind, like with London, you have to get tube everywhere. It's not necessarily the same as Dubai where you have to get taxis and stuff. But long story short, I thought about it. If I was in London, would this be an issue? No. Did I actually have a nice time with this guy? Was conversation flowing? Actually, yeah, it was. But it was just because that whole Dubai element, I'd had time being spoiled by guys that would, come and pick me up or, choose somewhere near to my house. Unfortunately, that really, really played on my mind, and I found it very, very difficult to see past the fact that I had spent 55 minutes in a taxi and you had just walked over,
Yeah.
It was really difficult, but we actually did have a nice date, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, so I want to talk about dating techniques a little bit. In terms of your approach, now, for example, on Tinder, when you swipe right, do you ever lead the conversation? Do you ever start the conversation?
Never. Unless, so for me, never, unless there is something so compelling on their profile that I need to ask. But other than that, I would never message.
So why never?
I don't know. Maybe it's just my own insecurity of worrying about looking a little bit too keen. And to be honest, Tinder's something I do for fun. It's not something I take that seriously. So my whole philosophy in my mind is that if somebody really does like the look of you, they will reach out to you, because I have male friends here who I've literally seen them. They just swipe right on everyone, Just because you match a guy doesn't mean he actually looks at you and thinks you're good looking. Yeah. A lot of them just want to see who's liked them. Just because we match, I don't take that so seriously.
That's interesting. Okay, so have you heard about the platform Bumble? Mm-hmm. So on Bumble, as a woman, you have to talk first. Mm-hmm. So have you used that platform? How would you behave on a platform like that?
So I have used Bumble before. My whole thing, so Bumble was nice, to be fair. However, the pool on Tinder of black men is just so much bigger. And I found on Bumble, the quality the quality was a lot higher. And earlier I was talking about finding like a good man. Definitely the quality was higher, but in terms of black men, there was hardly any. Versus if you go on an app like Tinder, you have to do a lot of like fishing through all the bad apples and the guys that are trying to find, fun for the night. But generally speaking, the amount of black men you'll find on there is a lot higher. Okay,
great. Okay, so I want to ask about where to go on dates in Dubai. I don't know whether you can also feed in Vivian. Where would you like to be taken on a date in Dubai?
Is that for me?
Yeah, both of you actually. Yeah.
Well, okay, for me, I think I like luxury.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So I like it when I'm in a place, I have the view.
Yeah.
Everything is fascinating.
Yeah.
Even if I'm having a bottle of wine, it feels like I'm having crystal.
Yeah.
So the ambience. So I think first of all, I really like 5 Palm Jumeirah.
Okay.
That's the what they call it, the rooftop.
Okay.
Penthouse.
The rooftop.
Yeah. That's really nice. Yeah.
I really like it because first of all, I use the pool there.
Yeah.
I swim.
Okay.
It's all crazy, like people could take off anything. Nobody cares.
Wow. Okay.
I think that's the wildest fun I've had in Dubai. Then when you're done, you just go up, you chill with a glass of wine. Is it that you're seeing the view, or you get in the craziness again because it's like a club inside.
Okay.
So it's mixed. I like mixed.
Okay.
So when I want to calm down, I come out and I look at the view and I go back and it's all
okay.
Then there are places. There's this new place, W Dubai. It's awesome. It's in the Palm.
Never been. I've heard it's really good.
No. You fall in love if you go there.
Oh, really?
Okay.
It has the view. It has the view you need. Like it just has the Palm.
So I like what you said. Now you talked about how you fall in love when you go there. Now, even though I'm still going to talk to Lizzie about the kind of places that she likes, I feel like different places help conversation flow easier.
Yes.
Like even as a man, you have to talk less if you're in a certain kind of place because of the general ambience. Does that work for you?
It works.
Okay.
You don't need to talk. Just smile.
Oh my God.
That's all.
Okay. Very interesting. Okay.
Because then I'm relaxed.
Yeah.
Everything you say is fun to me.
Okay.
You say rubbish is nice.
Okay. Okay. I don't think Lizzie agrees at all. Okay, so Lizzie, tell us a little bit what are the places you like.
Exact opposite of what she said. Bearing in mind, for me, I'm not just going on a date with anyone. Like, I really need to have a connection with you. I'm sure you're the same. At least when you were single. But for me, if I've met you on Tinder, there's all this build up, and when we meet in person, I'm really, really shy. So in actual fact, I'm hoping a guy will kind of take the lead and, talk a lot more. But funny enough, the last few dates I've been on, I don't know what it is, but, I actually wrote on my profile, please, if you don't have banter, if you don't have chat, just leave me alone, because I'm quite a jokey person. But I get these guys who are, really nervous, really shy, even though they're talking so much over the phone. But then when I'm in front of them, a few weeks ago, I went on a date with this guy, and he was literally sweating, literally looking at his phone.
Wow.
I think the whole night, max 5 times looked me in the eyes. And then he had the cheek afterwards to message me and being like, I had such a fun time with you, let's do it again. I was thinking, were you on the same date? Because literally I had to step into this character where I'm having to carry the conversation. I'm asking you, about your family. Do you like pets? Do you like walks in the park? Just to keep the conversation going. So I think for me, a guy has to be a talker, and then that will help me relax and help me come out of my shell. But going back to what you're saying, I'm the exact same as her. I'll ask before you, if you say you want to go out, my next question is where. I'm not just going anywhere. And I think for me, I definitely there's a lot of really nice places in downtown. There's a lot of really real big gems in the Palm. So Bushman's in Anatara is so beautiful, and they have an acoustic singer who plays with the guitar and sings love songs. There's actually a lot of gems all over the Palm, which I think for a date you need to find somewhere with an ambience, but also somewhere where you can talk, So also the Palace downtown, pretty much all of their restaurants are very good at being quiet with an ambience where you can actually talk to somebody, you can actually connect with someone. But when you look around, it's just so beautiful. And I think that, for me, just helps make a date memorable.
Okay.
You know?
But does the ambience reduce how much he has to talk? Like in Vivian's case, does it make the conversations
no, definitely
easier?
not. No,
okay.
no, because I mean, for me personally, I'd still be so shy. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. So I want to ask if both of you have any advice for young black women that want to date in Dubai, just coming to Dubai, or have been here for a while and just like wondering what's going on.
Be open.
Okay.
Be open. No, honestly, I'm a true believer of a lot of black women's biggest downfall is like only sticking to black men. I know I'm not the best representative because unfortunately I do only date black men, but I have tried. I've really tried. I've even prayed about it. I'm like, God, please send me a white man I'm attracted to. It just hasn't happened. But I genuinely do think there's a lot of guys, to be honest, a lot of guys who are working professionals, like really kind, nice. I think in general when you are dating black men in particular, a lot of them struggle with having this issue of pride and just really like letting their pride supersede everything. Like even the other day I was on a flight coming from Uganda to Dubai, and the captain basically, you know, the announcement at the beginning of the flight, it was a woman. One guy got up, and rather than get up quietly, he made a whole speech of he's not being flown by a woman, blah blah blah, and whatnot. Yeah,
a black man.
Got off the flight. It's just like little things like that. I do think, I mean, that's a more extreme example, but I think finding a man that's so proud for doesn't have enough pride to. I'm assuming that Emirates did not refund his ticket because that's just stupid. But finding somebody that doesn't have so much pride that they're willing to let it cost them. You know, finding a genuine guy. I do think there's a lot of guys out there that are of other races that are attracted to black women and will date black women. I just think, unfortunately, black women are not open to dating outside their race, and I think that's something that they need to do more of. You know, just be open, have an open mind, and try and see who you connect with on a mental level, and just take it from there. You know?
Okay. Any other advice?
Well, I would say, I agree. We have to be open, but be open wisely.
Okay.
Because you could come to Dubai and I probably want to use Dubai because that's a topic. You probably want to date. Even while you have your pursuit, your pursuit rather.
Yeah.
So I would say it should be whatever you're dating would be your blind, your eyes you should be blinded by love. You should know where you're going. You should have direction. So you'll be like, oh, he slowed me down. I was dating him. Okay. That was why I didn't get this contract and all that.
Oh,
so
hell no.
you should know what you want as a woman.
Yeah.
It shouldn't pick you.
Yeah.
Pick yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it.
I agree.
Okay, so more advice, ladies. Lizzie, any other advice? Like from using the platforms, for example, is there a way to be more deliberate about selecting the guys that you go on dates with? Just looking at some of your best and worst dates.
Sorry, I want to say something.
Okay.
She said something that caught my attraction. She said her profile.
Yeah.
She wrote a lot. Sometimes people just feel they don't check that. Yeah. I'm sure let me say 100%, 70% might have gotten attracted to her with her profile.
Yeah.
Because it's not regular.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to blow your mind.
It's
not regular. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you already have your credibility already there.
Yeah.
So the score is like 90.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's why they come for you. So I just feel the ladies should. You know what you want. So whatever you put out there, that's what you get.
Yeah. Okay.
So don't cry that, oh, this guy did this to me, oh, this person is bad.
So be deliberate about it.
Yeah, whatever you give, you get. That's it. That's it.
See, in saying that, like, I just really don't agree with the last thing you're saying.
Okay.
Because for me personally, my whole dating experience has been I've seen a regular theme of when you do find a good guy who's attracted to you, when you're attracted to them, they're either looking for fun or it's terrible to say, but I think Dubai tends to bring a lot of men here who are actually married in their home countries but are living the single life, And I've been twice burned by this of, meeting a guy who I literally thought was perfect on paper, but later down the line, something slips up, he leaves his emails open, or, you go to his house and see a picture, a family portrait on the wall, like something crazy like that. But I just think, I know myself, I'm definitely not putting out like, I'm trying to, be a home wrecker and break up marriages, or, I'm trying to have fun right now. But I think, unfortunately, like, if somebody has bad intentions for you, they're going to try and play them out regardless of however you present yourself or anything like that. So I think, like, it's not necessarily a case of what you put out there you will attract when it comes to Dubai. I think in other cities, that's definitely the case. However, I think Dubai is a whole kettle of fish. You're literally dealing with people that are literally like, what's the fish? It's like piranhas or something. Like, literally like bloodsuckers, If somebody thinks they can get something out of you, they're happy to say whatever it takes to get that from you. And I think that's something that's definitely unique to this city.
Okay.
And then if we're talking about advice, I would definitely say to girls, just be smarter and just... Like, I learnt the hard way. Like, I was such a happy person, used to wear my heart on my sleeve, chat to everyone, and I learnt the hard way. People, like, when you're here, will just take advantage of that. You almost need to second guess everything that somebody's saying to you.
So second guess everything. Now, so second guessing everything.
And just be smart about it, and just be very, very aware that guys here, like, I've actually even got a male friend who openly says that he's written in his profile he's looking for a relationship, when really he's looking for one night stands, but it's just because he knows, I'm talking about on his Tinder profile, he knows if he wrote that he is looking for one night stands, girls would not swipe right on him. So you have to bear in mind, and this is a lovely, lovely guy, but God knows how many women have fallen into his trap. And I think there's a lot of men who are here in Dubai who are like that. Like, you've got to remember that Dubai, when you're here, is not like, let's say we're all in Nigeria right now. If I tell you, I am, cousin to the king, somebody who can check that and tell I'm lying, Whereas in Dubai, I can literally say I'm related to Michelle Obama. Who are you going to check with back from US that's going to tell? So I think you have to be very aware that when you're dating in Dubai, people literally do recreate themselves. And you have to be very aware that the person in front of you, talking to you, could just be selling you a dream. You don't know. So my advice to ladies would just be smart, not everything you hear is true, see actions, take your time. Okay. Because ultimately, if somebody is having a cover, eventually time will ruin. Like nobody can play an act for a year, So just take your time, really feel people out and just pray. Okay. God will not put you in a situation that you can't get out of before it's too late. So pray.
I want to throw a light on what you just said.
Okay.
I want to talk about the portray. The profile we talked about. Yeah. Now, why I talked about the profile, your profile, why I used it as an example, it's more like, it's not just Tinder. They have it's an in-message. So in-message. They'll be like, he's saying sort of things to me. He wants me to come to his house. He's asking me how much I want. And then you complaining as a girl, you should just go back to your profile and check what you portray. Because I wouldn't lie to you, I've actually gotten job interviews from in-message.
Oh, wow.
I've met HRs from in-message. Wow. In as much as you have people that are fake in Dubai, even as you have people that are brutal, my dear, you still have people that want something. They came here to fish.
Yeah.
So if you can give them the net or the hook, they could deal with you without the F word. So, in as much as they want fun, they want business. Okay. So when you portray fun, they go all fun. But when you portray, I'm not trying to counter. When you portray fun, business, they could be in between. Okay. So that's where I talked about some dates. Like, I could have a date and you'll be like, oh, you're so cute. I'll be like, man, we need to talk about our business. We'll talk about it later. So it could be mixed. But there are some dates that the girl already portrays. She has she's all on bikini. That's the profile picture. Or you're just selling yourself like, I'm not saying it's bad, but that is your identity. So if your identity is that, you help them more to satisfy one part. But I want to say something, they still have other parts. Like you said, we have serious-minded people here.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to achieve something.
Yeah.
And now, I would say, let me use it like, let's say just 48 hours, I met someone at a beach party, Nikki Beach Resort.
Yeah.
We were much. I actually went to have a meeting for my event.
Yeah.
And apparently, she saw the way I was talking to the guy. Can we talk? Can we just have this meeting? So I didn't know there was a party. I didn't know she picked me out.
Yeah.
And she just walked up to me. She's one of the organizers for the African something. They have
Food Fest.
Yeah. So she just walked up to me. They were girls. I will not separate myself because I came for a meeting.
Yeah.
I had to do the shots and have fun.
Yeah.
Because the person that invited me is hosting his birthday party.
Yeah.
So I have to key in and wait till morning.
Yeah.
When he has a clear head and to discuss my business.
Yeah.
That's one thing I learned from my relationship anyways.
Yeah.
The regular Vivian would take a Uber and go home and come back. So she picked me and she was like, let's have a meeting. I told you I was supposed to have a meeting by 4 today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was her. Do you understand? She was half drunk, but she was still watchful. So nobody does the fun and forget about she's from Lebanon. So she came here to get something.
Okay.
So while you're getting something doesn't mean that you won't go down.
Yeah.
So the people that want to go down with them. While the people that want to rise, they rise with them. So that's my own take with your profile.
Yeah.
Because if I'm a man, like you said something about your profile, like you already put it there that this is who you are and everything.
Yeah.
I could get attracted to it.
Yeah.
I might have intentions because you're good looking, sorry, Lizzie.
Yeah.
And I want to go down.
Yeah.
But then we might be having a conversation. I will learn one or two things.
Okay.
But if you decline having that with me, the other way around, I'll still be friends with you because you have things upstairs.
Okay. That's interesting, yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. So it's about having a balanced view of things, really. About having a balanced view of things, not being extreme in your thinking, not being hardliner, like, okay, it has to be this way or that way. Okay, so thanks a lot, ladies. I guess we could keep talking and talking. Dating is such an interesting topic. But I guess we have to end the podcast at this point. Thanks a lot, Lizzie, for coming on the podcast. Thanks a lot, Vivian, for coming on the podcast. So you heard them, guys. So look forward to the content. I'm going to transcribe the content from the podcast and share as well, so you can get their balanced views on the subjects. Talk to you guys next week. Bye.